Hi guys, I'm gonna walk you through the data flow process for our project. This one is the ultimate data structure in our data warehouse. So we have a single fact table, fact impression, and multiple dimension tables. So for fact impressions, we have our green and the number impressions and number clicks happen in this screen. And the dimension table, we have dim time, dim place, dim creative, dim advertisement, and dim advertiser. This is a simplified version of our data flow process. It extracts data from data sources, transform the data, and load into data warehouse. So for transformation part, we filter the data based on the country. We take out the data that happens in China only and derive day, hour columns based on the existing Unix timestamp and the aggregates impressions and the clicks separately. Then we merge join two sites to become a single data stream. This single data stream can be used for the fact tables and dimension tables. So this is the actual data flow diagram in SSIS. And we have a flat file connection manager for impressions and clicks. So for flat file connection manager, we use suggest type to get appropriate type for each column. Then for flat file node, we only check columns that we found usable later. And the error output will be redirected to flat file destination. Then the next step is conditional split. So we only filter data that happen in China. So it's a condition country equal China. Those records that match this condition will go into this node to derive column, day, and hour from time usage. So time usage is a unique timestamp. So use this impression to get day and hour. And the same applies to impressions. Next is aggregate clicks. So we use the same aggregation key on both sides. And we use count distinct user ID as num clicks. So num clicks is the number of user clicks. Uh, and the same goes to aggregate impressions. And count distinct user ID becomes num impressions. Before we merge two sites, the program has to make sure that each part on the left, it can find the corresponding uh, data on the right side. So both sides have to match in order. Um, then we have to sort both sides with the same sort key and the sort order. For the merge join here, right, we put the impressions on the left and the clicks on the right. So this to make sure that all the attributes of impression data are kept and the num clicks from the clicks can come into the single data stream. So num clicks here, because it's left outer join, so it can be null sometimes. So this node is to convert null to 0. Then this single data stream will be multicast to multiple subprocessors. For subprocessors after multicast, we insert into fact impression, dim advertisement, dim creative, and dim place. So for those insertion into dimensions, we use slowly changing dimension. We define a business key to each table, then the other attributes just follow. From our heuristic analysis, we realize the attributes for a single item, for a single ID, right? They don't change from time to time. So we can safely use fixed attribute. And we use enable inform member support to then we have these comments. The same applies to theme creative, but for theme place, because we want to add in the tier information, so we have to look up city tier. For lookup city tier, we use an existing table in our database for the dictionary structure. So we have the city and tier, this information, but this include only tier from tier 1 to tier 4. This is not exhaustive because we also have city tier 5. Then the lookup will just look up for city tier based on the city name. The city tier will come in as a new column. As I mentioned, because there are some city tier 5 So those tier 5 data will come down as no match output. Together with those invalid data will come down here, and the city tier will remain null. Then it continues to slowly changing dimension function as normal. The data flow process only processes a single pair of data files, impressions, and clicks. To automate loading of all files, first we put all the impressions under a single directory, and the same goes to clicks. Then we put data flow task into a container iterator, and under collections, we specify the directory where we have all the network impressions, and the file name will come into the user-defined variable impression file name. Then under connection manager, we go into property, expressions, and specify the connection string dynamically. So we can use a common part of file path with this string, and the dynamic part, which is the unique part of each file, will be captured with impression file name. And the same goes to clicks. Then after each iteration, we execute SQL task. So the SQL task is simply convert tier equals null to tier equals 5. So that's all for our data flow tasks. If you have any question, please ask us in the Q&A session. Thank you.